All right, so we're on Unit 10, Guided Notes B. I tell you, these pens are terrible. If I pass out in this video, somebody please call 911 for me. This is really bad. All right, so what is Guided Notes B? It's about factoring trinomials. And you know what trinomials means. It means 3 terms. Okay, now, okay, so what is an easy Guided Notes B is easy trinomials. Guided Notes C are difficult trinomials. Now, what is an easy trinomial? An easy trinomial looks like this. Again, you won't see the B and the C. You'll see numbers there, but the main thing is the number in front. And some of you remember from the last unit, that's called the leading coefficient. The leading coefficient is 1. The number in front is a 1. If the number in front is a 1, that makes it an easy trinomial, and it's not that difficult. What we're going to be doing is going to write the trinomial as the product of 2 binomials. So your problem is going to look like this, and you're going to write it like this. It's going to be x plus something, x plus something. Now, in the last unit, you were given a problem like this, and you were asked to multiply them together. Most of you used the box, and you ended up with an answer that looked like this. Well, now we're going in reverse. We're starting with the simplified answer. We want to know what it looks like before you did the box. All right, so how do you do that? I call it using the x. You'll see what that means in a minute. So here's the first example, x squared plus 7x plus 10. Now, this is what the x means. You're going to put an x right here. You're going to put the number at the end on the top. You're going to put the number in the middle at the bottom. You're going to try to find 2 numbers that multiply to this number and add to this number. Can you think of 2 numbers that multiply to 10 and add to 7? Okay, well, the only numbers that multiply to 10, 1 and 10 multiplies to 10, and 2 and 5. So which pair of numbers do I use? Well, you don't want to use that because those 2 numbers don't add to 7. The answer is you're going to use 2 and 5. So you're going to put 5 here and 2 here. Let's check. Does 5 times 2 give you 10? Yes. Does 5 plus 2 give you 7? Yes. So those are the 2 numbers that I want. What do you do with those 2 numbers? Well, you're going to write your answer like this. We want the answer to be 2 binomials. What does binomial mean? These are each going to have 2 terms. You put an x here and you put an x here. That is a positive 5. So you put positive 5. That is a positive 2. So you write positive 2. This is our answer. All right. How do you check? What if you wanted to check? Well, you would check by doing this. You would put x and 5 and x and 2. And I'll just do it really quick. If you put that box back together, you would get x squared plus 7x plus 10. You get the original problem back again. All right. That's how you check your answer. So this is called factored form. That's what we're looking for. All right, example 2. Where is example 2? All right, this is example 2. X squared minus 9x minus 36. All right, how do we do it? Well, we're going to make an x. You put negative 36 on the top, and you put negative 9 on the bottom. It gets a little bit tricky with negative numbers. You got to be a little careful. Let's write down, can you think, remember it has to multiply to negative 36 and they have to add to negative 9. Let's write down some numbers that multiply to 36. 36, 4 and 9. Is there any way that those numbers can add up to negative 9? Nope. 6 and 6, they multiply to 36. Is there any way those 2 numbers can add to negative 9? No. How about 12 and 3? Is there any way that you can make 12 and 3 come out to negative 9? Yes, you can. All right. I'm going to put 12 here I'm going to put 3 here. Now, one of these numbers has to be negative. Why? Because they multiply to negative 36. Well, if they need to add to negative 9, which number needs to be negative? Hopefully, you pick negative 12. Negative 12 plus 3 does give you negative 9. And negative 12 times 3 does give you negative 36. So these are the two numbers that I'm looking for. All right, so how do you write your answer? You're going to write two binomials like this. You're going to put x and x. The first number is a negative 12. The second number is a positive 3. By the way, that's correct. So is this. It doesn't matter which one you write first. They are both correct. It does not matter. I should have said that on the last example. It doesn't matter which one you put first. That was example 2. So let's now do example 3. All right. Again, let's go ahead and just write them. The answer is going to look like this. It's going to be an x and an x. All right. And you remember how to check it. You make a box. All right. How do you factor it? Let's put our x over here. Let's put negative 60 up here and 11. Let's think of numbers that multiply to 60. 1 and 60, that ain't going to work. 2 and 30. Is there any way 2 and 30 can add up to 11? Nope. 3 and 20. Is there any way 3 and 20 could add up to 11? Nope. Let's try 4. Does 4 go into 60? 4 and 15. 4 times 15 gives you 60. Is there any way that 4 and 15 can come out to 11? Yes. All right. So we're going to put 15 here. We're going to put 4 here. It doesn't matter which one you put first. You can put the 4 first. It doesn't matter. Now, these two numbers have to add up to positive 11. So which number should I make a negative? The answer, you should make the 4 negative. Now, let's double check. Does 15 times negative 4, does that give us negative 60? Yes. Does 15 plus negative 4, does that give me 11? Yes. So those are the two numbers I'm looking for. So the factored form is x plus 15 and x minus 4. You could also write x minus 4, x plus 15. It doesn't matter which one you write first as long as you have the positive with the 15 and the 4 with the negative. So that was example 3. Now let's do example 4. There's example 4. All right. Again, my answer is going to look like this. All right. So let's make our x. Let's make the x. You're going to put negative 42. What do you put down here? What is that? That's negative 1. All right. Let's think of some numbers that multiply to 42. There's 2 and 21. That can't work. 1 and 42. That can't work. 3 and 14. That won't work either. Hopefully you thought of 6 and 7. 6 and 7, is there any way that can come out to negative 1? It sure can. If you make the correct one negative, let's see. If it has to add up to negative 1, which one of these two needs to be negative? The negative 7. So let's check. Is negative 7 times 6 equal to negative 42? Yes. Is negative 7 plus 6 equal to negative 1? Yes. So those are the two numbers that I'm looking for. So you're going to write x minus 7 and x plus 6. And you can write the x plus 6 first and the x minus 7 second. That's fine. So that's example 3. Finally, no, that was example 4. This, I did one more. That's example 5. Now, why did I give you an example 5? Because this one has a greatest common factor first. The greatest common factor is 2, because a 2 divides into all 3. And the lowest exponent, 3, 2, 1, the lowest exponent is a 1. If I take out the greatest common factor, if you go through and divide all 3 terms by 2x, you're going to get x squared minus 14x plus 49. So that's taking out the greatest common factor. But now we have to factor that trinomial. Make an x. What number goes on the end? Don't look at the 2x right now. Just look at the trinomial. 49 goes up here. Negative 14 goes down here. I can only think of one way to multiply. Well, there's actually 2. 1 and 49. You're not going to use that. But don't you know that 7 times 7 gives you 49. Is there any way that you can make 7 and 7 come out to negative 14? Yes, if you make both of them negative. Let's check. Does negative 7 times negative 7 give you 49? Yes. Does negative 7 plus negative 7 give you negative 14? Yes. So those are the two numbers I'm looking for. So you're going to write x minus 7, x minus 7. Now remember the 2x you took out? That has to go in front. You need to keep that greatest common factor in front. That is your answer. Now, some of you might know another way to write that. That's my phone. Hold on. Some of you might know another way to write that. You could write that instead of writing x minus 7, you could write x minus 7 squared. Both of those are correct, and I would accept both answers. All right, hopefully you know how to factor trinomials now, and you're ready to do the practice.